I thought I was live, y'all. I thought I was live. I was on here for like 5 minutes or so. I was not live. Oh my god. Oh, it's hilarious, bro. Gratitude. Here now, live stream number 19. Embracing emotions and practices for allowing them to flow. Gratitude for being here now. Gratitude for this space. Gratitude for breath. Gratitude for life. Just Sean, what is up, King? Thank you once again for moderating. Hello, lock it in, Queen, lock it in. Adrian, what's up? It happens. It definitely happens. I was literally here and I was like, dang, no one showed up yet. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna read something while someone shows up. Like, oh my goodness, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. How are y'all doing today? How's everybody feeling? Some tea. Oh, I gotta light my candle. Cheers. Here now, number 19. We're here. We're expanding our awareness. Tapping into source energy. Source energy is who we are. I am source energy. You are source energy. It is not difficult to tap in because it is you. Just Sean, you're feeling happy, feeling good. I'm feeling good too. I'm feeling grateful. Today was an interestingly emotional day, but in a way that I feel satisfied because I was able to see just how all of my spiritual practices have come in handy, as I find that the emotional regulation has been quite regulated, and I am so grateful for that. It's so nice to witness yourself in your own transformation journey and see how everything you've been practicing, it comes to fruition, especially those internal transformations. Transetta, welcome back. Feeling good, grateful for the day, very productive, glad to be here, very nice. Nothing like feeling productive, right? Much gratitude. Got some tea, as always. I always like checking in with like an emotional check, because sometimes, it's easy in this. I would say if you're not used to it often, it's important to like check in and just say like, yo, how am I feeling right now? Because often we feel like we need to keep moving without checking in, and that can end up, I would say, backlashing in many ways. And I've learned just how to regulate that. That's what inspired today's topic. I had it something different. What I had was releasing the pressure of spiritual mastery. But today I woke up and I was like, nah, I want to talk about allowing our emotions to flow and what can we do about that. It's so interesting the way these topics come up, because it's like I think of the topic and then in that same day I feel like a theme occurs in my personal life because of the topic I created for the live stream. And I'm like, well, great. I have I have now a plethora of personal examples to share. So it's funny how life works. What types of music do I listen to? And your setup looks so tranquil. Ah, yes. Thank you. Yeah, this is quite a chill setup. My little candle's right there too. Another candle. What type of music do I listen to? Quite a bit. Y'all, I've been telling y'all that I'm gonna put up my Spotify. I have a Spotify playlist I'm gonna share with y'all. I think I didn't put it up yet because I've been adding more music to it, but it's a shift in consciousness playlist. Okay, this was like Spotify. I don't know if y'all have Spotify, but I'm gonna share this playlist. It's a shift in consciousness playlist, and it's basically like, I would say, spiritually inclined music. I don't even know if that's like a word, but it's under the guise of spirit, and it's very like, it's under the umbrella term of spirit, and everyone here basically speaks about spirit, and it's such great like jams. Like, these are some jams. I'd play it here, but YouTube would be like, meh. I'm gonna share it though in the community section. I have just been adding more to it. I shared it once on my Instagram, but some of the music that I listen to are just like this music, like a shift in consciousness. I don't even know what genre this would go under. I do like R&B. I listen to R&B. What else do I listen to? I listen to pop rock. It's cool because I think if I go, there's something here in Spotify where it will give me like the names of, let me see, music. It'll give me like the genres that I listen to all the time. But lately I have been very aware. I would say within like the past month or two, I've been very aware of the music I've been listening to, and becoming aware of, like, when I listen to it, how it makes me feel, and how the energy that I receive from it, how it pours into the rest of my day, how it pours into emotional regulation, awareness of thought, awareness of my behavior. That's all of our environment, The music we listen to is a part of our environment. So I definitely have become more aware of that. And that's why the Shift in Consciousness playlist I've been adding more, so it's pretty cool. I'm going to keep adding more even when I share it. It never stops. Just right now, I've shared this with y'all before. You guys have to check out Mei Lan. I listen to her meditation, and when I'm in the shower, just waking up, and just day to day, she does angelic frequencies, calming music, peaceful guided meditations. Huge fan. Found her on YouTube. I have her app. It's Mei Lan. I would check her out. Hers is more meditative, angelic frequencies, like, yeah, amazing music. Wow, that's you connecting to universal intelligence. Sucks they copyright songs on YouTube. Yeah. I gotta figure out a way. I wonder, it will be cool. Like, I do have Zoom, so maybe one day I'll have a day where I'm gonna see how to have like a music, like a listening sesh, because it wouldn't be able to happen here on YouTube because of the copywriting. But I wonder like how that's created, and maybe one day I'll do like a Zoom listening party or something, and seeing what everybody likes and just jamming out to music. Sounds fun. It would be cool to vibe in the live session with some of your favorite tunes. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, so I'm gonna do some research on that topic and see the best space for that. Seems like Zoom might be, because it's not like a platform. where people are concerned about someone else getting monetized off of their music. That's essentially the reason why. Oh, it's not too hot. It's perfect. $7:07. What genre of music do y'all listen to? Let me know. If you were to open up your phone or go on YouTube and play something, what's a song you'd listen to? I would say one of my favorite songs is called Eat Your Greens. Her name is Gayatri. I gotta get her. Gayatri Krishnan. 444 and Eat Your Greens. Those are my favorite. I love listening to that. You know what? I can read the lyrics. I may not be able to play the song, but I can read the lyrics. So let's do that. Hold on. Let me try and find it. Gayatri. Neo Soul. Hold up. Let me see what artists are under that genre. For sure. It's like, I don't like saying the word new age for some reason, but it's definitely like, I'm looking at a playlist on Spotify for Neo Soul. I wouldn't have considered some of these artists Neo Soul, but I guess so. They have like Mary J. Blige in here. I wouldn't have considered her Neo Soul, but I guess so. I would consider her like just R&B, just soul. I've been listening to a lot of Bobby McFerrin. Never heard of Bobby McFerrin. Let's see. Don't worry, be happy. Oh, I think it's a classic. I want to play it. Hold on. Oh yeah. Classic. Kind of goes under the classic of, Bobby McFerrin and Bob Marley. Just that feel-good music. You turn it on and you're just like, we're chilling, we're vibing. Life is here. This is life, Yeah, heard of him, just never knew his name. One of those artists where his music transcends his own name. Amazing guy. Much love to him. Oh my gosh, Georgia Smith. That's my girl. I listen to her a lot too. I listen to Georgia Smith a lot. My favorite song is On My Mind. On My Mind. Love that song. Be Honest. You gotta have that. I like Snow Allegra. Snow's really cool. I actually went to, in DC, music festival Something Under the Water last year. Don't recommend it. It was horrid. A waste of money. You really love music, Trendzetta? Nice. How can we not really love music? But I see, do you have Spotify? Are you like a Spotify person or a, Apple Music? We gotta have music in our lives. Sound, right? Just sound in general. That's healing. Om is the first. How would I say this? The first piece of existence of the universe? Is that the best way I could say it? It all starts with sound. And this is why music Music is it's so powerful, it's healing. And there's two ends of the spectrum where it could be so healing, and simultaneously it could be used like in terms of manipulation, where there's underlying frequencies and things like that. That's why we must be so careful. I would just say, just be aware. I wouldn't say there's anything to fear, but just be aware. Like when you listen to a song, just pay attention to how you're feeling after, or the thoughts that are flowing through your mental field. Music is healing. It's everything. Apple Music and YouTube. Yo, Trendzetta, I'm telling you, I used to use Apple Music, all right? But if you love music, you got to get on Spotify. Spotify is way better than Apple Music. I had Apple Music and I did the Spotify for a bit. Spotify is better because it really opens you up to new artists. It organizes what you like. It ends up like when you listen to things, it knows what you like. Let's say you create a playlist. You can have a playlist where Spotify will help you add more songs. Just in terms of music lovers, I think for someone who just wants to listen to music and they're just like, yeah, I just want convenience, like Apple Music, okay. But Spotify, if you're like a listener and you're really into music, okay. You must have the free one though. You're probably not you use it but not often. Maybe it's the free one you use. If you have like the membership one, way better. Yes, certain affirmations and songs you'll repeat to yourself all day. Yes. That's why. So there's this chorus. Their name is Beautiful Chorus Radio. I'm listening to their radio, but their name is Beautiful Chorus, and their music is basically affirmations. So it's like the same words, and it has a lot of soul in it. Reminds me of just growing up, childhood. When I grew up Christian, so a huge part of my childhood was singing in the youth choir at my church. And like the Beautiful Chorus, they're not necessarily Christian. I feel like they're definitely more in line with like spirit and consciousness, and they do use certain words and language like holy and sanctuary, but either way, the music is so powerful. It's so I have it in my head, like, so, one of the songs is, oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Pachamama. I was just listening to that today, for sure. I was just listening to that in the car today. One of the Inner Peace, Sing Through My Voice. Those are like, I was thinking today, I was just like, these are the affirmations I'd like to be flowing through my mental field. If I were to have a song flowing through my mental field, that's what I would like, Your good friend loves Spotify. Yeah. Adrian, you don't use Spotify? All good. I just recommend Spotify for anyone who really loves music. If you really love music and like you have Apple, I'll just be like, you should just check out, just do it for 1 month, the free version. But it's not the version where it's like on shuffle and then there's commercials in between. You actually like get the membership for it. I listened to them all throughout college. My yoga instructor played their albums out loud. Yes. That's so nice. It's so funny. I first heard them last year, but I really, really started listening to them this year. And the songs that I love they made those albums back in 2015. And I was like, wow, that was a long time ago. Where was I? Inner Peace, yo, yes, those are hymns. Yes, they are hymns. Like, just so beautiful. Like, the soul in that just really touches my heart. I love it. You were gonna ask me if I heard of them. Literally, my friend she texted a group chat and said, listen to this and sing along if you like it. And then I listened and I was like, oh, of course I'm singing along to this. Like, there's no doubt. So if I were to have a recommendation, yo, listen to the album Hymns of Spirit. It goes hard. It goes hard. These are like artists like Bobby McFerrin and like Bob Marley, Hymns of Spirit. Like their vibrations, their energy is just, it's so uplifting. It doesn't matter what mood you're in. You listen to that and it's like you shift to a new perspective. Just like in the last live stream, we were talking about how sometimes all it takes is one sentence to just shift into another perspective and be like, oh wow, that emotion that I was just living in and dwelling in, I'm not attached to it anymore. I'm beyond it at this moment. I'm feeling the vibes. I'm just living in a new reality, a new perspective. And that is the power of music. That's why oh my gosh, I would just say like being intentional about what we listen to. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't listen to, some of the, if you like major artists and things like that, when it comes to things like that, I'm not super like, on anything really. I think my biggest intention for myself is just be aware. And the more I make that intention, the more aware I become. So, yeah. Sade is classic. Classic. That's the one on your phone. Yeah, Hymns of Spirit. I think that's their best. Not their best, but their most popular, I would say. They have a new song out called, it's called Now. I was listening to it. I was like, hey, Here Now live streams. They have an EP and they just put it out this year. January 17th. I want to know what genre is this? What would they be considered? I'd love to know. High frequency love music. Okay. So if I were to say like what genre I like, be like high frequency. High frequency music. It's always like, what's the genre of this music? You see what's so cool about Spotify is like you like someone, then you go down. Well, Apple Music does the same thing. You go on the bottom and it tells you other artists that relate. I just think Spotify is so much easier to find those artists that aren't particularly in the spotlight. They're more of like, you really got to find them. That's why I appreciate Spotify. I found so many great artists just from being on the app. Yeah, for sure. I have heard such great things about the Pacific Northwest, honestly. And I'm not going to lie, I definitely feel drawn to visiting like Seattle area, right? Washington. I just hear the vibes are nice. I feel like YouTube has been like that for me. Happen anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the vibes are nice there. I've heard great things. Definitely want to visit. Like I said, I told y'all before, I like soccer. So there is not the national team, but there's a women's team there, and they are the Portland Thorns. They're pretty good. I'm pretty sure they were like first place I forgot. They're good though. One of my favorite teams. So definitely love to visit. YouTube does do that. YouTube has introduced me to quite a few new artists that I hadn't known. So that's true. The algorithm's on point. Like I said, everything has a light and a shadow. And it's like the algorithm, can be used to help us, because the algorithm has helped me quite a bit. Oregon, yeah, Portland, Oregon. Beautiful, beautiful state. I have not been past Texas. I need to visit the West Coast in general. I have not been past Texas. I've traveled a lot of the East Coast. I've been to the Midwest. I've been to Ohio a while ago. Just Sean, shout out to the algorithm that brought me here. Let's go. Thank you, YouTube algorithm. Yes, like I said, the algorithm can do its thing. It knows. Life is like an algorithm. I realize that. It's like you put out your frequency. You're vibrating at a certain frequency, and you attract certain people, you attract certain events. Like, life is just like an algorithm. Like, it's just an algorithm. And it's the same thing when you hop online. It's like what you're clicking on, what you're watching. YouTube is just going to recommend more of that. And that is just like essentially your vibration in many ways, So yeah. Same, just Sean. Algebra. Yes, shout out to the gratitude to the algorithm. El Chico. Gratitude, shout out to the algorithm of life. Yeah, shout out to the algorithm of life. It's the main algorithm. Yeah, I remember becoming aware of how life was an algorithm after becoming more aware of what the algorithm was on YouTube and social media. And I started diving into reality transurfing, and I was like, life is just an algorithm. That's all it is. And it's been mirrored. Like, the internet just mirrors it. It's like these platforms are basically like automating how they shift content around, and whatever you click, whatever you give your awareness to and your attention to, you give more and more of it. That's why it's also a good thing too, every once in a while, just looking through your stuff and clearing things out. Sometimes you might click things out of curiosity, and then the algorithm will keep recommending it to you, but you don't necessarily want it. So it's good to every once in a while have a nice little cleanup of things, and then you look at your feed and you're like, this is exactly what I want. I would say ultimately on all of my platforms, like, I don't have any complaints about what the algorithm is feeding me. I think Twitter, I think I mentioned it to y'all. Every so often I get a little something on there, so I just like unfollow some people and things like that. But ultimately, and I feel the same like in my everyday life. So it's so interesting just like seeing how those mirror. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Exactly. Your vibe attracts your tribe. It's so true. Sometimes if you question, just look around and you say, how did I attract this person? And it's nothing to blame. It's just a matter of, okay, what thoughts were going through my head? Things like that, like why was this person in my life, things like that. And you shift and you learn. This right here is a tribe. Here now, live stream. This is a tribe right here. Here now, live tribe. Here now, live tribe. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Me and El Chico kind of know about the term tribe, but sometimes I don't use that word. But it's nothing wrong with the word. It has more to do with my own personal experience with that term. Oh my God. Letting your emotions flow, y'all. What a journey. How do y'all feel about your journey when it comes to allowing your emotions to flow? And I would even say, where are y'all at right now? Have you set any intentions around letting your emotions flow? how you are shifting your relationship with your emotions, expressing your emotions, you know. That has been such a theme, a great theme lately, because the more we allow our emotions to flow, we tap into source. We're releasing. What's your personal experience with that word, if you don't mind me asking? So just in a nutshell, it's like sometimes the word tribe can turn into what feels like culty, if I'm just transparent. So it's so important that with certain like people, just listening and like hearing and listening to them fully and their intentions, like when you're with a group of people and they're like, yo, we're a tribe, like, yo, listen in on that, listen to their intentions. All right, I'm laughing now. I've always laughed, but I would just say around certain things like that, I'm hyper aware of that. I don't play around. I don't like culty vibes or anything like that. I'm all about, y'all, we are sovereign beings. Around us, we're guides. Of course, it's important for us to find community. I think community is so important indeed. And, you know, I know sometimes like within community, it does take people being, you know, we got to be protective of the people around us, you know, but there's a very fine line between like culty vibes. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with the word tribe. You want to use tribe, all right? We attach meaning to a lot of things based on our experiences, so I'm aware of that. I just laugh. It just reminds me of my I wasn't in a cult, y'all. I'm just saying, I was in no cult. It was about to be that, and I was about to be out. I was already out. I was really loud about it too. I was like, hell no, we're done. All right, so Transetta. I've had points in my life when I've been super emotional and reactive to everything. And I've had a period in my life where I've been the observer of emotions, or my energy in motion. But yeah, the emotions always change, and the energy in which they're directed change as well. Yeah. You know, emotions are energy in motion. And here's the thing is like I say, same thing with thoughts, but today we're going to focus on emotion. Is like emotion is always directing us in the direction we need to go. It's also informing us on what it is that we need in the moment. And sometimes you see what happens with our feeling emotions is that it might make us feel as though it's slowing us down. Like, oh, I can't feel this emotion right now. I can't cry right now. I can't be emotional right now because it's going to slow me down, right? But having that type of relationship with emotion just creates suppression, you know? And that ends up ultimately creating reactivity. And so when we begin to shift our relationship with emotion, right, through having a healthy outlet for it, whether it's art, whether it's poetry or any form of art, you know, having your own space, creating your own videos. I know El Chico and Transetta, I know y'all create your own videos, journaling, anything to express your emotion in that way is a great way to work with emotion. And when there's that healthiness with emotion and letting it out and just becoming aware of what that message is and being with it, it really allows us, when we talk about tapping into source, when we talk about awakening our intuition, that is exactly what happens when we improve our relationship with our emotions. Even with reactivity. Reactivity is huge. I remember there was a point in my life too where I was reactive, just reactive to and I know that reactivity, what it came from was being so immersed in the media, like social media, and being immersed in trending topics, and there not being enough space for me to sit back and recognize what my actual opinion was, because there wasn't enough space, I was just feeding in on it. And this is actually what is happening with the collective. So this is why in many ways, I will see the collective and I will see a lot of reactivity and I will empathize because that's where I was. And this is why I'm always saying observe your thoughts, sit with your emotions, notice them, non-reactivity. That will really, I would say, save you. It will save you from manipulation that's happening. It will save you from, and it will allow you, when we talk about sovereign beings, it will allow you to make your own choices and not to feel like, there's a need to follow along with the crowd. Because let me tell you, when you observe your mind, you observe your emotions, you observe the collective, you see just how much the crowd is lost. No one needs to tell you that. You see it and it's so obvious. And it's like, this is a big reason why, like I say, the foundation of so much of what I share is present moment awareness and observing the mind. Because those spiritual practices, inviting that into my life, healed me so much. The shadow work that I've done and continue to do, it's been so healing. And when we talk about emotional regulation, your emotions are so regulated. They don't ruin your entire day. I used to experience having an emotion in the morning and feeling like my entire day was ruined, and it would stop my productivity simply because I didn't have that relationship with emotion. It was way too reactive. And so prioritizing meditation, prioritizing breath work throughout your day, prioritizing coming back, scanning your body, that are beautiful practices for emotional regulation, for improving your relationship with your emotions. Truly, our emotions are, I listened to something. I heard a little bit of it, and I think it was by Sadhguru. I don't really listen to him that often, but when I do, I hear some good stuff, and he mentioned how being human is the superpower, right? And I felt that. We talk about being here now, and often what might happen along the awakening process is this feeling that, being human is like we need to escape it. Like Earth is not our home. This is not where we're supposed to be. Oh my gosh, I need to have a major shift in consciousness. Oh my gosh, get me out of here. Get me out of here. All that does is cause suffering. All that does is the mind creating a war. Like the superpower is to be human. I read a book, and it was Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my favorite spiritual teachers. And he says, the miracle is not to walk on water. The miracle is to walk on earth. And it's truly, truly recognizing that being here now, exactly who we are in this moment, exactly our state of consciousness, we're exactly where we need to be. And when you sit there in that awareness, it feels really nice. There's no resistance. It's like, yeah, I'm here. No, I don't need to shoot out to all these other dimensions. I'm in the right dimension. I'm in the dimension where I need to be. It's a beautiful balance. So then when it comes to emotions arising, having a relationship with them, knowing that, yeah, you can have space. There's space, so you don't have to be reactive. But when emotions arise, you don't have to get caught up in them. You don't have to identify with them. That's a big part of when I say it's a practice. Because each time they arise, you have that practice of welcoming in space, acknowledging them, and saying, oh, there they go. Oh, there goes that feeling of anger. There goes that feeling of frustration. There it goes. Right? It's not you. It's that feeling. And the more and more we kind of recognize it, We say, oh, that's the voice of frustration. That's the voice of anger. That's the voice of fear. That's the voice of excitement. That's the voice of cheer. That's the voice of bliss, right? It doesn't matter the spectrum, right? It's the voice within the mind, right? And so through having that sense of awareness, it's easier to invite in space. So we're less reactive. Thinking about those times, just Sean. Same here. I get uncomfortable thinking back to those times. Like, damn, that was me. Like, for sure. For sure. You think about those times when you were like incredibly reactive, and you're like, wow, I used to be like that, because that's not me now. I was generally pretty chill. It's what I realize is like, it wasn't really you. It was your behavior. So we'll say, yeah, it was you, in the way that, yo, I'm about to take responsibility, okay? There were those moments when I was reacting out of like anger, out of frustration, out of fear. And I realized through observation that, wow, it happened because there was no space. It happened because I was just absorbing what was around me. I was not aware of the conditioned patterns of the mind. Therefore, you're just continuously getting caught up in the conditioned patterns. And it's nice to be able to sit back and laugh at it, okay? It's good. It's a good practice to do so, because then you don't take it seriously. And so when an emotion does arise in the present moment, it doesn't need to be taken personally. You don't take it seriously. It's like, okay, I felt that. It's not me. I know I don't have to react to it, Laughter breaks through the ego. So when we take things so seriously, it creates this rigid boundary and this rigid wall, and we forget that we're one with Source. We forget we're beyond the busy mind. We forget we're beyond all these emotions that are flowing. And when we learn to work with it, oh, come on, man. Talk about being our superpowers. I say our superpowers are our thoughts and emotions. When we learn how to use them for us, when they work for us instead of against us. If y'all seen the Marvel movies, those are just reflections of us. That's why they're so popular. Just reflections of us and the superpowers. Honestly, I don't really watch Marvel movies. I think the action films are too much for me, because it's like I feel like the same scenes are happening over and over again. Like, especially like the fighting scenes, it's just like, yo, I thought you already blasted that person, now you're blasting them again. Like, that's just my little take. I'm not as drawn to it. I do like Spider-Man though. Spider-Man, I'll say this, all right. Spider-Man and Iron Man, I like those two. But the other ones I don't really watch. Not as much. Adrian, I be reactive too. I want to stop that. Learning to stop. Let me tell you, just by that willingness to do so, you're doing it. One of the best ways when it comes to emotional regulation and improving our relationship with emotions is having that intention to do so. Simultaneously, it is when the emotion arises, it's one saying, there it goes, but let me tell you, shaming and guilting yourself, it only creates more mental noise, and it doesn't create that environment, that mental and emotional environment that is necessary for growth. You'll never, ever, ever go wrong with like positive affirmations to yourself. So it's like saying, If anger arises, if a reaction arises, it's like, okay, I felt that. I'm allowed to feel. My emotions are valid. All right. Next time, I'm going to respond this way. And I can say this, when it comes to, for example, anger or frustration, and specifically, know that there's space is always there for us. We can invite space in whenever. And one of my most powerful practices when it came to regulating frustration is in the moment, having that intention beforehand and really feeling it arise, right? Especially when you find yourself being angered or frustrated by the same things over and over. You set that intention to say, when this happens again, I will invite in space. What does that look like? Inviting space looks like, one, recognizing when that event is occurring, and then pausing. And then noticing as the emotions, right? Energy and motion, noticing that energy and motion come through you, moving through you. And that was one of the most powerful spiritual practices when I first started in the beginning, when I really was learning how to regulate emotion, was simply noticing energy and motion. When you notice energy and motion, you are inviting in space. When you notice, you are not reacting. You're noticing. So what ultimately happens is that you are not controlled by an outside, something that is outside of you. Even though the emotion is within you, often it's like, it's still not you. Because when you create space, you can notice it and not be affected by it. That this is why this is why during meditation, setting that intention beforehand to be non-reactive toward whatever arises is so powerful. You'll notice that the more you meditate and you set that intention to say, in this meditation, I will be non-reactive towards the emotions that arise, it pours into your day-to-day. So you find yourself calmer. You find that during the day you're calmer, that you're able to access space easily. Stillness arises effortlessly. It's very beautiful to witness yourself improving your relationship with energy and motion. Yes, love OG Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire is a Spider-Man that I grew up with, so that's my bias. I know there's what's his name? Andrew Garfield? Is that his name? He was before Tobey. And I grew up with Tobey Maguire. I was in summer camp watching Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite. I love Spider-Man. You know what I find too? When it comes to embracing emotion is considering, why don't we embrace emotion, right? What is it that is actually blocking us? What exactly are those conditioned patterns that get in the way of us embracing emotions? I know when I heard the phrase embrace emotion, I felt a freedom within me to say, what? I can embrace emotion? Because I'm so used to hiding it. And, I realized there's a couple of reasons. One, when you're quote unquote emotional, you might be seen as weak or vulnerable. We know that's not true, especially when you're on your awakening process. But that is often a conditioned pattern of the mind that needs to be observed. Simply observed. And in noticing that if ever there is a block within you, you say, is this me feeling as though if I express this emotion, I look at myself as weak, or that someone else may assume that within me. Is that what is blocking it? Right? That's the simplicity of noticing. It's like, ah. And then in that moment, you notice you have enough space to respond consciously and say, in this moment, it doesn't matter what others think. I would like to express this emotion, you know, obviously in a healthy way, in a way that's not harmful to others. Because if it's harmful, then obviously that is something to consider truly just meditating on, allowing yourself to express it and journal it and just create that intention. I like to affirm to myself that truthfully, it's easy to shift that. It is. Life is simple when we let it. So when we affirm to ourselves and say, hey, I noticed this reactivity. I noticed that, wow, I thought that expressing this emotion made me look vulnerable or weak. But it doesn't. And it's easy to shift that perspective. When you affirm that to yourself, that becomes your reality. You shift realities because that is your reality. That is the story you told yourself. But the story you told yourself in the way that improves your relationship with your emotion, in the way that allows you to become one with source, become one with universal intelligence. It allows your mind and your body to relax and be in alignment. When you affirm to yourself that these practices are easy, that you invite in enough space, you're shifting. You're creating a healthy environment for your growth and transformation. You will never, ever, ever go wrong with positive affirmations. Ever. Ever. Another one that ends up blocking is a cultural or social conditioning, right? Depending on a certain culture where you grew up in, you'll notice that certain patterns are unique based on different cultures. So it's a matter of sitting back and saying, this is a cultural norm within the culture that I grew up in. And you can say to yourself, hey, this may be what I'm surrounded by, but I don't have to subscribe to it. It does not need to be a part of my identity. I have a choice to shift out of that. I have the choice to express myself in a way that is authentic to me, that aligns with me. It's beautiful to embrace culture. It's also important to recognize when certain cultural norms can interfere with your self-expression, with understanding who you are. And it might separate you a bit from the culture, but hey, that's one of those balances between a collective group and an individual. And with going about and throughout your own journey, you'll learn how to balance that. You'll learn what's most important for you. You'll learn what's a priority to you. What else? Negative past experiences. You may have expressed yourself in a certain way in the past and the response wasn't what you expected or what you necessarily wanted. So it stops you from expressing yourself. Once again, the practice remains the same. And I think what I love about that, it's so simple. When it comes to especially present moment awareness, the practice is always the same, right? It's having that space to simply notice. Notice when it is, okay, this is coming from what I learned from culture. oh, okay, this is coming from, I feel like if I express myself, it might make me appear vulnerable or weak. I remember when I expressed myself in this way, it wasn't received well. But in this moment, I'm giving myself permission to express myself, to do so. Right? So, a lot of that. I have here lack of emotional awareness and understanding, difficulty processing or regulating emotions. We were talking about emotional regulation, insecurity or self-doubt. Those are a lot of the big reasons as to why we find ourselves blocking. And when we are aware enough and inviting in enough space, we can identify it and say, there that goes. There it goes. That's it. We don't take it personal. We say, there it goes. There it goes. So a couple practices, and I'm pretty sure I just named them all. Acknowledging. Acknowledging looks like, right now, I'm feeling angry. Right now, I'm feeling this sense of anxiety. Right now, I'm feeling sadness, right? Acknowledge it. It might sound like, oh yeah, acknowledge it, but often we don't know when you're not used to regulating emotion or setting the intention to do so, becoming aware of it, there's not that practice to acknowledge it and say, oh, this is what I'm feeling, and really stand back and become aware of it. Often we're feeling an emotion and we don't even have a label for it. This is when I feel like labels can be helpful. It's not a matter of attachment, but it's just recognition. It's like, right? When it comes to that emotion, I know for me, what comes up often is feelings of urgency. Especially in meditation, I'll notice like a feeling of urgency comes up. Like, I need to do something quicker. I'm too late on something. That's often kind of like a programmed idea that comes from society. That's why often we think we need to be further along in whatever process we're in. We often think we need to be further along than we actually are. And noticing just that feeling like, there goes the urgency. It's very empowering. We talk about being a sovereign being. That's empowering because that's the first step that opens up the door to inviting in space. And that's a part of when I shared talking about noticing energy in motion. That's what it is when you acknowledge it. There goes that energy in motion. There goes that feeling. There goes that feeling of nervousness. I'm feeling nervous, right? Even with language, it's huge with acknowledgement. You don't say, I am nervous. I mean, I wouldn't say you don't say, but it's best practice to say, I am feeling, instead of saying, I am nervous. Because you are not nervous. You're feeling it, right? Same thing when we say like words like depression, right? You are not depressed. You are feeling it. When you say that, it's far more empowering. When you say that, you're more likely to welcome in space because you have ultimately separated the two. You acknowledge that you are a being that feels. You are not that emotion. So it's empowering. Therefore, naturally, space is going to arise because that's your reality. Accepting emotions, right? So we have acknowledging, so it's I'm feeling. Another is accepting, right? It's okay to feel angry, right? It's a normal response to this situation. we talk about being human and being here and on this planet. Often when certain situations happen, we're going to feel something. It's okay to feel that. Our feelings are valid. Whatever you feel, it's valid, you know? Louie! What's up, Louie? Welcome back to Here Now Live Streams. Number 19. It's good to see you here again. We're here. We're talking about healthy practices for allowing our emotions to flow. And one huge one is accepting it. It's huge. You know, when you're not accepting emotions, what manifests is shame and guilt. Is saying, I feel this emotion, but then you don't validate yourself. And what often happens is, like, when you're not validating yourself, you're looking for others to validate it for you, right? And often it's okay. Like, this is why we have friends. This is why we have communities like this. It's okay. It's actually wonderful and beautiful to have a community that validates, that says, hey, it's okay. You can feel that way. It's a reminder, right? But it's also important to recognize when you might become dependent on it. Everything's a balance, you know? Like I said, it always depends on what you need in the moment. And like I said, you'll never go wrong with you just taking responsibility for yourself. Taking responsibility yourself is empowering. It's the most empowering thing you could ever do. We talk about being sovereign. We talk about being independent. We talk about all those things. And that is when we become when you're welcoming that in internally, you'll notice that it mirrors externally. So you won't find yourself dependent on external validation, but in many ways, you'll find gratitude in it. There's nothing wrong with validation. There's nothing wrong with someone saying you're doing a great job, or you're allowed to feel that way, or I love what you do. There's nothing wrong with it. It's always, you know, our relationship with that validation, for sure. Yo, love the vibes on this chat. It's so cool because it's like majority of the time we got the same, we got the crew here, and we're all getting so used to each other, and I really like it. I appreciate it. This is an example of community. Community is what we need to continue to like I say, we talk about validation, right? If we talk about validation in a way where it allows us to transform and grow, this is a space that does so. A reminder that, hey, it's okay to feel frustrated. Actually, the situation, you know, that happens. And so when you allow yourself to feel that way, it creates more space. So you're less reactive, and you have a group of people that are helping you be less reactive. El Chico, the programming of urgency runs deep. I'm wondering if that can be like just a whole Here Now Live topic. Because I'm saying, when I meditate, I notice that. And it's helpful because it's like it helps to have a healthy relationship with not taking it personally. And it allows me to question it and be curious about it rather than feeding into it. Therefore, allowing me to have a fulfilling life, right? I opened up a tea bag today, and there was a reminder of one of the best quotes ever, is that nature never hurries, but it's always on time. Right? Nature never hurries, but it always accomplishes. And that's the same. When I saw that, I was like, thank you. I don't need to hurry. I don't need to rush. In fact, this timing is exactly the timing that's for me. It's the timing that I need. And it's always a reminder, y'all. Nature never hurries, yet it's always on time. Go spend a little time out in nature. And look how it's never in a hurry. It's always doing its thing. You want to talk about nature being sovereign? Nature, nothing interferes with nature's interconnectedness with universal intelligence. You put a seed of a rose into the soil. A rose knows that it's a rose, and it grows. And it grows in its own time, in its own way. Same for a tree, same for a weed. A caterpillar in a cocoon takes its time. It's no rush to be a butterfly. It's like, I'm just going to be a caterpillar for a bit. Okay, now I'm feeling it. Nature just naturally is like, time to cocoon. Back in 2019, I was really big on taking care of monarch butterflies and just helping them grow, because I had a garden. I had a community garden, and one of the community members at the garden actually encouraged me to take care of the monarch butterflies, and she told me what to do. And at first I was a little nervous. I was like, take care. And she's like, no, it's easy. And I did it. I actually did it with about 3 or 4 butterflies. So monarch butterflies, the caterpillars have to eat milkweeds. It's a milkweed plant. So what I would do, the garden was like 5 minutes away from me, and I had this, it was like specifically made for taking care of butterflies. I don't even know what to call it. It was like this little pop-up thing, and a pop-up like sheer little house for them. And they were caterpillars, so I would go to the garden and clip some milkweeds, and they'd eat it. And I forgot how long the stages were, but then eventually I'd see the caterpillars climb up, and then they'd cocoon at the top. And then I'd watch it cocoon. It was so cool. And then eventually their wings would be strong enough to open the cocoon. And then they would actually, for a while, they would dry their wings. Like sometimes it would take a day or 2 for them to dry their wings. So when the butterfly was already out of the cocoon, I would just leave the little sheer housing unit. I don't even know what to call it. So I call it's a sheer housing unit. It pops up. And I just leave it outside and they'd fly out. I think 2 of them I took to the garden, because the monarch butterflies, they pollinate the flowers and the plants. So in the garden we had butterflies, we had moths, and we had bees. Those are all pollinators. Those are all amazing pollinators. So it was a beautiful experience to be a part of, helping a butterfly do its thing. A caterpillar turn into a butterfly. Nature never hurries, yet it is always on time. And yeah, the other ways I have here for letting your emotions flow, expressing your emotions, refraining from judgments, and letting them pass. And, we kind of what we shared, it kind of just encompassed all of that. Is those practices are, I'm telling you, man, powerful. Like I was sharing with y'all today, it's nice to see yourself in moments where in the past you would usually react, to see yourself respond, right? To sit back and say, what? Usually I would react like in that moment, and usually I would hold on to that feeling, right? There's an affirmation or just something to affirm to yourself is, I know this, like for example, the examples I have are about anger, just so happen to be about anger, but I know this anger will pass. I don't need to hold on to it forever. I know the sadness will pass. I don't need to hold on to it forever. It's understanding the ever-changing nature of being a human, of reality. It's the same thing. So when you have a practice of noticing an emotion arise and affirming to yourself that it will pass, that mirrors in life when certain events occur. And you say, I know this event is arising in this moment, and I also know that it will pass. So it allows you to be more present in the moment, be here now live streams. It allows you to acknowledge that no moment has more value than the other. None. It doesn't matter if you have reached your goals, if you have accomplished something huge. That moment does not have any more value than the moment when you were in your room crying your eyes out, in your room, maybe you were bored. When you begin to notice just how valuable the now is, you'll find yourself less and less reaching for another future moment, which is ultimately an idea in the mind. When you affirm to yourself that even in moments where you feel most overwhelmed or just, you say this moment, it doesn't have any more value than the next. And what starts to happen is you recognize the purpose of that moment. You recognize that this moment does in fact have purpose. This moment does in fact have meaning. It's not happening out of random. It's happening because it's what I need. Louis, I need some healthy practices right now. 12 a.m. Just woke up. What? I know you're in the UK too, so your time zone is different. But you like the nighttime, so. One of the best things to affirm to yourself is, I'm doing a great job. Everyone here on Here Now Livestream, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Even if you find yourself reactive, you're doing a great job. You're in Here Now Livestream. You're opening up your awareness. You're opening up to have a shift in consciousness. You're doing a great job. Because there's you could be anywhere else right now, but you're here. Allowing yourself to expand your awareness and see, how could I invite new practices into my life so that I can be self-aware, so that I can improve my productivity, so that I can improve my relationship with myself, so that I can improve my relationship with the people around me. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Louis, what doesn't follow the crowd will be judged, And I feel that's why there is a thing where living amongst nature can be talked about as a bad thing in the media because of that connection to it. There's always a certain, it doesn't help there being an agenda of instilling fear. Yeah, that's what it is. It's always an agenda instilling fear. That's literally it. But I'll tell you this, Louis, is that awareness is your greatest protection. And the more aware you are, you don't need to fear, right? One thing that I say is, right, and that I've learned is that danger is real. Danger is real. Fear is not. Fear is an illusion. When it comes to approaching danger, you don't need fear. Presence is what you need in that moment, right? And that allows you to approach any danger that arises with being impartial and rational, and using whatever emotions that flow to your advantage, using whatever thoughts that arise within the mental field to your advantage, because you are grounded enough, you are still enough. Has my comment above that been deleted? I think I only see 2 comments from you. The what doesn't follow the crowd and it doesn't help there. Those are the 2 that I see. But yeah, it's recognizing that, and I would say like not fearing an agenda. There's no need to fear it. Yeah, there's people out there with some manipulative ways, but when you are grounded in yourself, you're one with spirit. You recognize that illusion. When you are making the intention to embrace emotion, when you are setting in these practices for emotional regulation, you recognize, hey, I don't need to fear. Yeah, there's some things out there, but remember, this is what I say. I came here for a reason. We're all here for a reason. Whatever challenge might be put in front of us, it's in front of us because we can overcome it. You're never given a challenge that you can't overcome. You can always overcome it. And one of the greatest practices I find is that, for example, recognizing inner peace, right? Anyone can feel inner peace. You don't need to have reached all these spiritual levels of consciousness. Actually, how do I say this? When you're feeling peace, actually, in that moment, that's a state of that you have actually reached that. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't need to feel hard. It's actually just a shift in consciousness. That's it. The mind will make up this idea that you have to do all of this stuff to feel a sense of peace. Each and every one of us here on this live stream can feel a sense of peace right now. It doesn't matter what's happening in your life situation. It doesn't matter. You can feel peace right now. Where does that peace come from? Stillness. Space. And even that is not, fully it. But when we talk about peace, right? And when I say that, it's like when you're in stillness, there's an experience that you have that is beyond word, beyond concept, right? So the words that are often used to refer to that which is beyond concept is often peace, space, stillness, awareness. Those are the words that are used. They're all pointers. And it encourages that stillness for you to recognize the oneness of the source. And when you do that, you notice that you are less fearful. You don't even suffer like that. And you recognize like, okay, there goes that really questionable agenda. I don't need to fear it, because I know I'm one with Source. I know my intuition has awakened. I trust that whatever's put in front of me, I have the resources that I need. Yeah, I like what you said about pain being inevitable and suffering being a choice. Yes, yes. Pain is inevitable because we came here for this human experience, so we're going to feel pain. Just like when we talk about emotions flowing, we're going to feel emotions. And it's all about our response to the emotion, our response to the pain. And if we respond to pain and emotion by taking it personal or by getting caught up in it, that is when suffering arises. It comes from the conditioned mind. It comes from there not being enough space, observation, noticing. Therefore, suffering is created. But pain's inevitable. So there's no need to run from it. Let me tell you, if you've ever had pain in your life, you'll notice you can't run from it. I would just say as a woman who experiences menstrual cramps, you want to talk about pain being inevitable? Or you could just think of anything within your life. But for me, it's I know that every time this time of the month comes around, I'm going to feel pain. So I accept it. Obviously, I do what I need to make sure that I'm comfortable, right? But I learn okay, it's here. I'm gonna, learn how to be here with it. It's a very interesting practice. Sometimes I think, this is one of the unique experiences gifted to women in the world. And when we work with it and we have beautiful rituals and things around it, I've learned to create rituals around my own time of the month. It's a catalyst for your awakening. It's always learning how, if you're feeling pain in any way, whenever you choose to work with it, it's always a catalyst for your awakening. Always. Anything could be a catalyst for your awakening. That's the beauty about just life. It's anything is a catalyst for your awakening. How can I encourage peace now, like you said? I feel like it will help with my anxiety. Yeah. So, for example, having a feeling of anxiety arise. One thing that you can say is, hey, thank you, feelings of anxiety, for arising. I notice that you're sending me a message. I notice that in this moment, there's something I must give my awareness to. It's that alignment with that. The moment you align, a sense of peace arises. That sense of calm, that agreement. And what happens is, when you notice that, that's peace. That's an example of peace. That's an aspect of it. You're agreeing with what's arising. And you continue to do so every time it happens. And what happens, especially with observing it and noticing it, is that feeling of anxiety, it's no longer anxiety. It's just a sensation. Try it. Try it out. Next time you feel that, you say, oh, there it goes. And you just notice it. Noticing it means you're not in your head anymore. You're within your body. So there isn't anything mental to give it a story, anything mental to take it personal. Whatever aspect of the mind that was causing the disruption, it's no more, because the awareness isn't being fogged by the mind. It's just grounded in the body. And so when you give that anxiety that full awareness, it becomes just a sensation. And in that moment is a door for peace, acceptance, allowance. And the more you continue that practice, the longer you feel that peace. But you can feel it right now. Even if it's for a second, you feel it right now. And if you feel it right now and you acknowledge it right now, even right now, it could last longer, right? You don't need to wait. You don't need to wait for another future moment to feel peace. It can be here now. One of the things about being male, my female friend talks my head off when I say that, though. I'll try that out, thank you. But how do I know when the message is that I am receiving the anxiety? I would just say this when you feel it. Don't even name it. Forget labeling it. Forget labeling it anxiety, okay? Feel it. That's it. That's it. And when I say feel it, okay, it doesn't mean saying like, oh my gosh, this is anxiety. Oh my God, it means that you're out of your head. So I'm pretty sure everyone here has experienced the body scan meditation that I do, the guided meditation. When I start off with feeling your toes to your heels, all the way up to your head. That is a powerful practice, scanning your body. And I do that so often that it just becomes a practice that I do throughout the day, especially even when I'm falling asleep. It feels really nice to just like be aware of your body. As simple as that. Because a big part of it is not being so caught up in the mentalness of the mind. And there's a groundedness and a reality that you're living in. And there's so much other things like that awareness of the body. It expands. You ultimately are connecting with source, ultimately connecting with universal intelligence. Because there's no identification with who you are, your age, your gender, where you're from, your culture, your race, your ethnicity, it's all gone. You're literally just like being. And it's a nice place to be. And ultimately, even when those emotions arise, you just become aware of it by becoming aware of the body. And it's just a little tingly sensation. It's a little tingly sensation. That's it. Louis, tap your heart. Place your hands over your heart. Listen to the clarity that arises. I like that. El Chico, heart-centeredness, heart-centered practices. Just like that, El Chico gave a perfect example of being out of your mind and into the body. So now you're giving a very specific specific center, which is the heart. And we talked about this last live stream, right? How inviting in heart-centered practices are transcendent. When you tap into the heart, you are beyond fear. Anxiety is fear. When you tap into the heart, just even awareness of it, you don't need to even be fully like versed in heart-centeredness. Just the simplicity of awareness of the heart, feeling that, you transcend the fear. Yeah. Thank you, El Chico. Adrian, let's talk about food later. Food. Yeah. I feel like I shared quite a bit. We'll never go wrong with heart-centeredness. Even just talking about heart-centeredness, I literally just felt like my own heart center open up because I gave awareness to it. Just through reading that. Yeah, I would definitely say like body scanning, inviting in space, heart centeredness. Y'all, it's gold. It's gold. It's gold. A fulfilling life is here. A fulfilling life is you. And all of this, continue to remind yourself it's simple, it's easy, and you can step into it in an instant. I would say too, right? Anytime you feel a sense of calm, acknowledge it. It's the same thing for when we feel these negative emotions. Actually acknowledge the calm. When you feel heart-centered, say, I feel heart-centered right now. I feel calm right now. I feel peace right now. Because where attention goes, energy flows. So the more you acknowledge even that, you're like, I actually feel more calm throughout the day than I thought I was. It's like being like a scientist and writing down every time there's there's an interval when you're doing a science experiment and a scientist needs to record what occurs in certain intervals or something like that. It's the same thing with emotion. Just be like, I feel calm right now. And each and every time you feel that, you're like, wow, I actually feel more calm than I thought I did throughout the day. So then it begins to shift your awareness. It also begins to shift the way you see yourself. Simply by saying, right now I feel calm. It's nice here. How do I stop repeating bad patterns or habits? Do I think of a future self? You can. Most definitely, Louie. That is one way. So often what I say is that thinking of a future self is helpful with like visualizing as a technique. It's helpful with like manifestation and things like that. You can think of a future self, or you can consider a higher self. Your higher self is ultimately you. You know what I would say too, as I'm thinking about that, is like sometimes when we say future self, it might take away from the fact that you can actually invite that visualization in right now. So maybe say higher self. And recognize that you are your higher self. You can say, what would my higher self do right now? And then you step into that and you become your higher self in that moment. And that's one way. To stop repeating the bad habits, that's one, right? You could say, what would my higher self do? And two, having a consistent practice. That's how you stop. How did you build a habit? By consistently doing that habit. So how do you build a new habit? By consistently practicing a new habit. So what it is trying things out and discovering what works best for you. And in a moment, if what works best for you is inviting in space and considering and saying, in this moment, what would my higher self do? You stop for a moment. Acknowledge any visualization that arises. Acknowledge any emotion or feeling that arises. And embody that in the moment. Embody it. And just like that, immediately in the moment, you've entered the infinite possibilities of the present moment. You freed yourself from the past by stepping into the present moment. I used to say, what would the most loving version of myself do? I love that. Yes. What that does is it acknowledges the many aspects of who we are. So you step into that. What would the most loving version of myself do? Immediately, you're opening up a channel. You're opening up a reality to step into that reality. That's great. Invite that back into your life, Louie, and make that your new habit, right? So how to stop those patterns, those bad patterns or habits, invite that loving version of yourself into your life more often. Invite it into your meditation. And when I say invite it in, what that ultimately does is recognize that aspect of you that already exists. Invite in that aspect of you that is always there, and express yourself through that aspect of you. And you'll find yourself a lot more aligned, place of fulfillment. Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling grateful. Plant-based incense. Get your plant-based incense. Let me know in the chat, everyone. Let me know in the chat. We're doing sandalwood today. I actually haven't used this one that often. Oh, it smells good. What are y'all grateful for today? What are we feeling grateful for? What is it within our lives that we would like to give acknowledgement to? Louis, what is the higher self? There you go. Does that mean my greatest potential, greatest self? In simplicity, the greatest version of yourself. What would the greatest version of yourself do? Right? That's your higher self. And immediately when even you ask that question, you already shift to your highest timeline. That's how simple it is. Awareness is powerful. What comes into your awareness, you become in many ways. Alrighty. Ronan! Namaste. Namaste, Ronan. Adrian, you have sandalwood too? You got the whole collection just like me, don't you? Burn an incense with me this time too. Burn it with me this time too for gratitude time. Let me know, y'all. What are you grateful for? Let me know while I go quickly give my cat a snack. Boop. Gratitude, gratitude. Coming home to the place where I belong. Pachamama, I'm coming home. I have that song stuck in my head. Oh, you just have 4? You go, wow, you have Adrian, you have the majority of the ones that I pull out. The lavender, the sandalwood. Ronan, I like to think of my higher self as my intuition. That's another way. Intuition is, you can think of it as your inner voice. It's so interesting how these aspects of ourselves, they honestly align. It's just like whatever meaning you'd like to attach to it, it's there. But ultimately our intuition, higher self, sometimes with the term higher self, it often makes it sound like it's outside of you because it's like higher. So that's why even like with the term intuition, it's helpful because it gives a sense of closeness, right? This is why language is everything. That's why I say I am my higher self. Like, I am my higher self. That intuition, I am that. That is me. That is me. You don't have to give the credit to aspects of something that's outside of you. It is you. It is ultimately you. OE48, welcome to Here Now Livestream. I try to live and think as this person who already has everything I desire and let my body catch up. There you go, OE408. There you go. That's it. Listen, we have all that we need. Everything is here. We just, we live in the dense reality. It needs to catch up with what we already know. It's all good. We're ahead of the game. All right. When it comes to this dense reality, it just has to catch up with us. But we already got it. We already got it. It's already ours. And when you live in that space, you're not chasing. You're not chasing. You're attracting. And that's a space of fulfillment. That's a space of peace. That's a space of calm. There's no urgency there. You're here. Adrian, you have a beautiful voice, Morcie. Thank you. Thank you, Adrian. I'd like to say gratitude for the community in this chat, for sure. Gratitude for the community in this chat. Getting some ideas. Coming soon. I feel a sense of gratitude for this chat, for our inner voice, for intuition, for great questions. Louis, you're asking great questions, honestly. Love them. Right? Yes, Bubs. Hello. Hi. Hello. She knows that I'm not looking at her. So she wants my attention. Your intention is powerful, y'all. Louis, when I step into my higher self, I feel like I can see my higher self calling me. Everything under the sun trying to motivate me. And I'm laid back. I get your ass up. Yes. It's so funny. It's so interesting what manifests when you tap into whatever you want to call it, right? Your intuition, your inner voice, the greatest version of yourself, your loving self. Do y'all get the energy here? You feel that. And when you feel that, you shift. And then you receive the message you need. Just like what you said, Louis. I can see my higher self call me, trying to motivate me, Come on, Bubs. Do you want my attention? Because I gave you a snack. Okay. Oh, gosh. Adrian, it's the cat again. Queen, do you want to... No? Okay. All right. I'm not sure exactly. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. Yo, Louis, not only does he have your back, you got your back. You do. Look at you. You're taking care of yourself. You are taking care of yourself. Look at you. Surrounding yourself in a space with like-minded individuals. We all understand each other. We all have this language where we understand, Nikola Tesla says, if you want to understand the universe, think of it in terms of energy, frequency, vibration. That's what we're all speaking about here. When we're speaking about our higher selves, we're speaking about our intuition. This is all about energy, frequency, vibration. We're shifting timelines. And you're doing that for yourself. Yo, everyone here. Adrian, Louie, OE408, Ronan, El Chico, Trenzetta, Just Sean, all of y'all. Y'all are doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Gratitude, y'all. What are you grateful for? So I can light this incense. Yes, Queenie Bee. Come here. What, puppy? Okay, fine. How about this? I'm just gonna light this incense up. I'm gonna light this incense up myself. Gratitude for this chat. Gratitude for our higher selves. Just Sean, grateful for growth. There we go. Grateful for growth. Just Sean, I know you are on that growth, the path of growth. You got yourself the passion planner. You're showing up to every Here Now live stream. Your intentions are all for growth. So I know that for sure, just from what I'm seeing. Okay, Queen. Gratitude for the small things. Let me know, Adrian, what are the small things for you? What are you grateful for? What of the small things are you grateful for? Today I was outside. I'm grateful each step that I take. If you ever have done a walking meditation, a beautiful aspect of that is being aware of every step you take. Noticing how there's no other step that is the same. Where you place your feet, the angle, it gets deep. Gratitude for that. Adrian, like being able to see, hear, having things you want, ability to heal. Beautiful. Gratitude to that. Gratitude for that. All right. We open our eyes. We don't have to try when we open our eyes. We just see. We don't have to try to hear. We just hear. Gratitude for that. Gratitude to be able to tap into that sensory perception and connect with what's around us. Ultimately, having things you want. You look around your room, wherever you are right now. Gratitude for that. I have the things I want. I have the things I need. Gratitude. Ability to heal. Man, that is beautiful. Ronan, grateful for the moment as it is. This moment holds so much value, so much purpose, so much meaning. This very moment right here, right now. It doesn't matter where you are. This moment right here. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude. It's a high, the energy, it's an elevated emotion. And then it brings you into the present moment and you see. So your thoughts, they all align with this moment. So you have that elevated emotion and the recognition of what you already have. And then guess what? That begins to grow. You begin to manifest more of that. That's manifestation, heightened elevation. Plus, I forgot how to describe the thought, but it's heightened elevation, heightened emotion, and there's a groundedness in your thinking. There's this knowingness, this is certainty in the thought, and it goes up into the ether. Boom, electrical signal. Boom, that's a thought. Magnetic pull, that's the emotion. Push, pulls it right back into reality. Gratitude. Psh, don't sleep on gratitude. Being grateful for having a roof over your heads. Indeed, indeed, indeed. You walk in, you have a roof over your head. Might be raining outside. Might be really hot outside. But you walk in and look at that. You have a space, a comforting space. There's so much gratitude in that. Adrienne, and being grateful for having a YouTube channel and getting paid. Oh my God, she's out. Yes, gratitude for that, Adrienne. Gratitude for that. I gotta check out your channel. There's so many little things we could be grateful for. And then it's interesting because those little things, the more you tap into it, you acknowledge that they're not so little. They are a door to opening up a deepened sense of reality, right? Enlightenment is just it's a state of consciousness. Enlightenment is intimacy with all things. The more we practice gratitude, the more we develop a sense of intimacy with all things, the more we enlighten ourselves, the more we notice that life is purposeful, life is meaningful. We're not skimming the surface, trying to chase, follow the crowd, follow some form or agenda that, but we're tapped in to ourselves, to source. The little things are actually everything. You become connected and one with everything. Oh, that's for me. My channel doesn't. Oh, gotcha. Thank you, Adrienne. Yes, indeed. I'm grateful for a YouTube channel and getting paid for it. Honestly, I truly am grateful for that. I state gratitude for that every day. For sure. Yeah, man. There's so many opportunities for us here, and if you have a gift, a specific gift, and sometimes you might think, oh no, this gift isn't going to provide me with what I need to survive. It's like, no, that's just an idea or a thought that was placed into your mind. You have a gift for a reason, and it could be a part of how you live anytime. You can make it a part of your lifestyle, and it can definitely it could definitely support you financially. Indeed, you just open up the door to that. Louie, I'm grateful for this live connection, my higher self, ability to care, heal, love, appreciate, forgive. I'm grateful for wisdom and nature, groundedness, also silence, and garlic bread. I like how you threw in the garlic bread, Louie, for sure. Cheers to garlic bread. Brian Powell, grateful for the chat and the words being spoken. Much love. Much love. Yes, indeed. Ronan, if you can't be grateful for the smallest things, you can't be grateful or receive the bigger things. Yo. Exactly. They won't matter, right? Like I said, the small things are everything. It's not even small, right? It's just like, no, it's huge. It's big. How about this, right? Gratitude for just being aware. Just being aware. Like we're aware right now. We can be aware. Like we never, that's something that is not often, brought into our awareness. But you go on a walk, a nice little stroll. You become aware of every step you take. You look around, aware that you are aware. You are aware that you're aware. You're not just aware, you're aware that you're aware. To me, that's the big thing right there. That's huge. We don't need to chase anything. We are aware. Is that a retweet, Ronan? Yes, garlic bread is so good. Adrienne, grateful for vegan cheese. Life Thought shared, grateful for my mom. Much love to your mom. Life Thought shared, sending lots of love. Grateful for every day I wake up and have another day to win. Let's go, OE408. Yes, 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 yes. Grateful for getting out of bed in the morning. Grateful for getting up and your feet touching the ground. Making the bed. Gratitude. Another day, another opportunity. Another moment in the present moment. Does that make sense? Also be grateful for whatever iPhone you have. Grateful for smartphones. They connect us. They connect us all to each other, right? Despite the overuse, but ultimately, there's a light and shadow to everything, and the iPhones are high technology, connecting us to others, allowing us to meet others. A lot of my friends in my circle right now, I met them because of social media. So gratitude for that. Use social media to meet up with people in real life. Like this. Don't worry, coming soon. Touring soon. Louis. Yes, nothing more spiritual than garlic bread. That takes me to a higher realm crafted by the gods. Oh my gosh, indeed. Feels good to you eat your favorite food and you're just so grateful. You're like, this is a gift. A gift from God, eating garlic bread. Oh my God, it's hilarious. All right. Adrian, you got your incense? Anyone else here on this chat? Grab your incense. Grab your lighters. We're acknowledging life. We're acknowledging all that we are grateful for in this moment. All right. Let's go. Gratitude. A moment of stillness, of beingness, to be here now. What's your thoughts on eating meat, since understanding that everything is energy and all energy gets recycled makes me not want to eat it? It's interesting using the word recycled in energy, because you might think of recycled as a recycled like material product, but energy is transformed. Energy can be manipulated. There's other aspects of it. I don't have a strong opinion, to be honest, on it. I do eat meat. I used to be vegan for 2 years, but I really don't have that much of a strong opinion on it. I know many people do. One thing I could say on a philosophical level is that anything and everything could be justified. If anyone's ever taken a class, any sort of class or anything on debate, justification, it's very interesting how things can be justified. But I just find that whatever you eat, whatever you feel that is right for you, whatever you feel works well for your body, for your spiritual practice, follow your intuitive calling on that and allow yourself to experience your journey. And yeah, ultimately, I don't really have a strong opinion on that. Adrian, go live on Instagram so we can talk. I'm going to go live on Instagram when I need to go live on Instagram. I haven't. And you know what? I actually will. It's a good idea. Because on IG, I can actually like invite people on and talk. So I got you. I'm going to do it soon. Yeah. I hear a lot of people say that too. Adrian. I think emotions and energy can be transferred anytime, anywhere, any place. It's good to be a conscious eater, indeed. Louis, eat as much as you feel comfortable with. I only eat chicken every now and then. I was vegan for a year. It was not for me. With all the replacement stuff, it didn't feel natural to me. Yeah, I think the replacement aspect of things, it's beautiful. I think being vegan for me allowed me to be a very conscious eater and connect with my food and be very present. I think the replacement items, the alternative meats can definitely be questionable, for sure. Yeah. Food is definitely quite an interesting topic within any community, especially a spiritual community, and how each person finds their own justification and relation to food and energy. Remember, Adrian, plants have consciousness too. They are widely cultivated without giving thanks to it, so they are full of fear when they die. Indeed. Everything is consciousness, right? Even plants. Had that conversation with Life Thought Shared. We've had quite a few about plants having consciousness, speaking to your food. In the garden, when I had my community garden, I would speak to the tomatoes, the cucumbers. I'd speak to my snap peas. When I ate them, I said, "Thank you, you are wonderful. I love you." It's how we relate to those things. Yeah. Reading the ingredients is a must. That's a big part of being conscious of what you're putting into your body. Yeah. Yep. And I think that is one of the questionable aspects about the replacement stuff. Is often, what is it that's in there? I feel like I could conquer the world when I eat healthy. Really feel amazing, and because of that, I notice how bad I feel when I don't eat healthy. Yeah. When you eat and you tap into how you feel, that practice is, how would I say, so important to just like your connection to what you eat. For me, it's very important. Like, I tend to lean towards eating foods that make me feel lighter. Like, I'm not a big fan of feeling like heavy after I eat. So like common foods like rice is very common, but I don't find myself that often eating it. I eat rice, but it's not something that I'm like drawn towards eating often. Just because when I eat it, a lot of times it's like I think maybe the starch. Same for bread. I eat bread, but just not as often because it can be like heavy. That's the best way I could describe it. But that's how I have noticed intuitively how I've been more leaning into the foods that I eat. It tends to be, if there's a paragraph of ingredients you care to pronounce or understand, that is a good sign for me not to eat it. Yeah, Louis. It's so funny. You read the back and it's like, what in the world? Like, I'm not. No, thank you. See you later. I think, aside from even, aside from diet and how each individual chooses to eat, I would say, like, make sure you cook your own food. Have a practice of making your own food. No matter your diet, that to me is really shifts your state of consciousness and awareness around what you're eating and your relationship to what you eat. Not just eating out, there's nothing wrong with eating out. If you want a little convenience, you want to go to a nice restaurant, go for it. But definitely invite a practice in of making your own food, your own home-cooked meals. Some say cooking is hard. It is not hard, y'all. Unless there's no patience and you just want to eat and you don't, you just want to eat and you don't care, then that's when cooking is hard. But like, if you just set the intention and you have a practice and you're like, hey, like, I'm cooking for me, I enjoy this, there's some form of relationship with the food you're eating. For me, I would say definitely have a practice of cooking your own food. Yeah, it's so funny though, because if you were to cook at home, you wouldn't put those ingredients in that you see on the back of those products. Exactly. You'd put a lot less, like the seasonings, there would be a lot less sodium. So you wouldn't feel like that bloatedness. Yeah, it's, and for me, that's the big thing is like, being aware, like, wow. Shilajit. Shilajit? No, I haven't heard of that, Louis. 1 second. Let me look it up. Did I say Louis? Adrian? I remember someone mention it as a tea. Are you talking about it as a tea? Boost the immune system, reduces stress, improves sleep and endurance, calms the mind, relieves anxiety and stress. It's interesting. Ronan, taking it for a year, you recommend it? Yeah, I haven't heard of it. Well, I heard of it. Let me see if it comes in a tea, because then I have heard of it. It was from Here Now Live, and I don't know who told me about it. Yeah, there's a tea. It can function as an antioxidant to improve your body's immunity and memory, an anti-inflammatory, an energy booster, and a diuretic to remove excess fluid from your body. So what have y'all used it for? What brought you to use it? Everyone who's used it here on the chat. Irish moss. Omega-3 fatty acids. You know, we'll definitely have I'm learning a lot about like the, you know, different aspects of food and what we consume that helps us build stronger immune systems, brain health, gut health. Definitely bringing my awareness to that. So we'll have to have a chat on that for sure. I would like to lead us in a guided meditation, do a little meditating. I know on my end, I've been doing quite a bit of talking. So it'll be nice to be in stillness for a bit. I haven't decided. I was like trying to decide whether to share the loving kindness meditation or do the body scan guided meditation. Does anyone have a preference? Okay, Ronan. It decalcifies the third eye. Very interesting. I know. I'll definitely do some research on it because this is like the second time I heard about it. Just Sean, love meditation. Let's go. I definitely know. It's time to do a little meditation. We talked about a lot of things. It's nice to invite in some space. Even though we're talking about some high vibe vibes, it's really good to have that space. Yay! All right, Louie. I was feeling that. The loving kindness meditation, I was feeling that. Okay, let's do it, y'all. Loving kindness meditation is it. Adrian, just Sean, love meditation. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Wherever you are, get in a comfortable position. You can sit upright like me. You can lay down, preferably in a position that allows you to be alert and aware so that you are able to shift into this meditative state, not falling below thought and falling asleep, but in a meditative state where you can go beyond thought and be here now. Take this moment to follow the natural inhalation and exhalation of your breath. Awareness is love. Whatever you give your awareness to, you give love to. Awareness is life. Whatever you give your awareness to, you give life to. Breath is life. When you bring awareness to your breath, you bring awareness to life. Take this moment to direct awareness towards yourself by repeating the phrase, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace." Take one conscious breath in, one conscious breath out, and direct that loving energy to yourself once more. Now direct this loving energy to someone you love, replacing I with their name. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be at peace. Take one conscious breath in, One conscious breath out. And direct that loving energy to them once more. Now direct this loving energy to someone you may not know as well. An acquaintance, a stranger that you remember, or just someone who is not in your immediate circle of relationships. Repeat the same phrase, replacing I with their name. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be at peace. Take one conscious breath in. One conscious breath out. And direct that loving energy to them once more. Now direct this loving energy to someone who may have hurt you. Someone you may not have had the best relationship with. Replacing I with their name. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be at peace. Take one conscious breath in. One conscious breath out. And direct that loving energy to them once more. The more you practice compassion towards yourself and towards others, You open up a door to connect with universal intelligence. You allow yourself to feel free. You heal by releasing attachment from the past. I encourage you to invite this practice throughout your day. Sending loving energy to yourself or to someone else who needs it. Take a moment to thank yourself for this practice. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. Open your eyes and return when you're ready. Thank you for that. Have you ever thought of creating a meditation channel? I'll make this channel the meditation channel. I'm going to add some meditation videos to this channel. I just realized a passion for guiding meditation, so I will be adding some guided meditations to this channel, and I have some plans coming up ahead for that too, so definitely stay tuned. For anyone here who has not downloaded my free guided meditation for observing thoughts and emotions fade away, definitely check that out. The link is below in my bio, in the description. It is quite late on here for a long time for me. We'll be looking, don't worry, HNL live streamers. HNL live stream community will be one of the first to know. I would like to thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank yourself for being here. You could be anywhere else, but you're here in a space that has the intention to expand your present moment awareness. Opens up a space for you to step into that loving version of yourself. Powerful questions tonight. Powerful conversations. I do appreciate that. Although we have differences in our opinions, that we're able to be here and still hold conversation. A skill that is very important in today's society. So I appreciate this chat. I appreciate the chat speaking to each other. I appreciate the chat taking care of each other. Don't let anyone allow you to feel that hope is lost in humanity, because it is not. Here Now live streams is a perfect example of how we're still here. We're grounded. We're connecting. We're taking care of each other. We're rising up. I feel immense gratitude for this space and all of you beings here and anyone watching the recording. I'll see you all again this Sunday for another Here Now live stream. Same time, same place. For sure. You can say that again. This live gives me hope. Indeed, indeed. This live is a reminder. Stay connected to your source, y'all. Stay heart-centered. We won't get swept away. Peace and love, Sean. Peace and love. Thank you once again for being a moderator. Appreciate your presence. Peace and love, y'all. Much love, much love, much love. Peace and love, Ronan. See y'all Sunday.